Hello everyone. In our video 1 of Union Government, we have covered the topics Union Legislature. In that we have seen already about the powers and functions of Parliament. Now next we will deal with the Union Executive. The Executive implements the laws framed by the Union Legislature. It also implements the programs and policies of Union Government. The Union Executive consists of the President, Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. The President is the head of the executive only in name, whereas the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers form the actual executive. Here in that we will see all the three things: President, Prime Minister and Council of Ministers. First we will go for the President. Article 52 of our Constitution has created the post of the President. The Indian President is the constitutional head of the country. He is the first citizen, the head of the executive and also the commander-in-chief of all the three armed forces, Army, Navy and Air Force. He enjoys the highest position in the country as he is the custodian of all the executive power of the nation. No court of law can question his conduct or prosecute him. Now we will see what is the election procedure for the President. Election of the President. Article 54 and 55 of the Constitution shows the way the President should be elected. The President is elected by an electoral college of the elected members of both the houses of the Parliament and elected members of the legislative assemblies of all the states. The Supreme Court judge administered him the oath of office. His term of office is 5 years. He is eligible for re-election. When he goes against the constitution, he can be removed from office by the Parliament through a motion of impeachment. This already I have said, motion of impeachment, what it is. If any person is accused for anything, with the help of votes, he has to be removed from this post. This is called as motion of impeachment. Now next we will deal with the powers of the President. Here the first power is executive power. All the administration is carried out in the name of the President. The President appoints the Prime Minister and on his recommendation appoints the other ministers. The President has the power to appoint persons to high posts like Attorney General, Comptroller, Auditor General, judges of the Supreme Court and the High Courts, governors, chairman and the members of Finance Commission, chairman and the members of UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, election commissioners, commander-in-chief to the three armed forces and the ambassador of different countries. Here we will see what is the meaning of Attorney General. Here the main legal advisor to the government, it is called as Attorney General. And afterwards another word we are using, the comptroller, or we can say controller, who is controlling and who is assisting as a financial officer. It is called as controller. And auditor general, here this is also related to the financial records. It is the person, those who are looking after the financial records of the government, or we can say a senior civil servant charged with the improving government accountability by auditing and reporting on government's operations. This is known as Auditor General. Now next we will deal with the legislative powers. The President has the power to summon the Parliament or postpone its sessions. He may also address a joint sitting of both the houses or dissolve the Lok Sabha. The bill passed by both the houses becomes an act only after it receives the approval of the President. The President may either re-examine such bills, return them or withdraw them for some times. He may also nominate 2 Anglo-Indians to the Lok Sabha and 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. In all these functions, he acts upon the recommendation of the Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. Now, the third function is judicial power. The President has the power to reduce the term of imprisonment of the criminals and to cancel the capital punishments. he can approach the Supreme Court for suggestions with reference to legal matters of the country. Next, it is financial power. A financial bill cannot be introduced in the Lok Sabha without the permission of the President. It is only after President grants permission that the reports of Finance Commission and the Controller and Auditor General are discussed in Parliament. Military power. The President is the Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces. He appoints the Chiefs of Army, Navy and Air Forces on the recommendation of the Union Cabinet. He also declares war and peace on the recommendations of the Parliament. Now next it is emergency powers. The President has the power to declare emergency in an unnatural situation. This is explained from Article 352 to Article 360 under 18 part of the Constitution. This concept is borrowed from the Government of India Act 1935. The effects of emergency on the fundamental rights and their management is borrowed from the Constitution of Germany. Based on the written recommendation of the Union Cabinet, the President can declare the emergencies on 3 occasions. Here, national emergency, Article 352, state emergency, Article 356, and financial emergency, Article 360. Now another it is next powers, discretionary powers. The President can exercise certain powers without waiting for approval of the Union Cabinet. They are: he may invite the leader of any party to form the government when no single party has got a majority after an election. When the Parliament approves a bill and sends it to him for approval, he may return the bill for reconsideration. He may dissolve the Lok Sabha. This we have completed the powers and functions of President. As you can see on the screen, the House of the President is also known as the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Now you can see the pictures of our President from the independence. Now at presently, the present President of India is Ramnath Kovind. We will deal with the Prime Minister. The Constitution has provided for a Council of Ministers with the Prime Minister as its head to assist and advise the President in the administration of the country. Still, it is the Prime Minister who has the real power to carry out the administration. The President is the head of the country, whereas the Prime Minister is the head of the government. He remains in office as long as he enjoys the trust of the Lok Sabha. Now we will see powers of the Prime Minister. The first one, appointment and removal of ministers and allocation of portfolios. Portfolios means different ministries or posts. It is called as portfolios. The Prime Minister recommends to the President the appointment of ministers to the Council of Ministers. He also allocates the various portfolios among the ministers. His decision is final in the allocation of portfolios. Next it is head of the government. The President is responsible for all the actions of the government. He coordinates the activities of the various ministers. He takes greater interest in framing policies related to the planning, defense and foreign affairs. Now the next it is head of Union Cabinet. Here Cabinet means important ministers in the government. It is called as Cabinet. The meetings of the Union Cabinet are held under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister. All the discussions of issues of national and international importance are discussed and decisions are taken under his chairmanship. He is the link between the President and the Cabinet. With this, we have completed the powers and the role of Prime Minister. As you can see on your screen, these are the pictures of our Prime Minister since from independence till now. Deal with the Union Cabinet. The Union Cabinet is the real executive and has ministers in two hierarchies. The first one is the cabinet level and second is the ministers of state. The maximum strength of the union cabinet is 15% of the total strength of the parliament. The cabinet has two kinds of responsibilities. Firstly, the minister of every department is responsible for the administration of his department. He has individual responsibility for the success or the failure of his department. The union cabinet has collective responsibility to the parliament with regard to the decisions and policies taken by it. Therefore, the cabinet can be in power only as long as it enjoys the trust of the parliament. When it loses the trust, it is removed by a non-confident motion. Here with this, we have completed all the topics, union legislature as well as the union executive, that judicial system. We will see in our next chapters, like one separate chapter is there for judicial system. In that we will deal with the judicial system. Hope it is clear for you all the two topics, union legislature as well as the union executive. If you are having any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you.